G'day viewers and welcome to Heevanlee Tai Chi and Yoga. My name is Todd and this is your 20-minute yoga flow to release tension in your hips. So with that in mind, let's get to it. So welcome to the class. Today's class is releasing tension in the hips. So we're going to go through a series of poses. Our peak pose is going to be the pigeon pose, which is Eka Pada Rajakapotasana. Wow, that is a lot to say in a short period of time. So we always start with the body awakening, which really we're starting and releasing tension in the body. So let's start with a couple of nice long breaths to find our balance, our center. So inhale, extend the hands up to the sky and then let the hands float down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Just let the hands float down like they're on a cloud. Beautiful. Now, let's take our hands to our knees and we'll start with some ankle circles. So from here, clockwise direction, nice and easy. Keep the spine nice and long. Keep working with the breath. Just nice and relaxed as we're going through the class. You know, it's a super important part of the class is working with the breath. So let's reverse that anti-clockwise now. And then we're slowly rising up. Let's take our feet out a little bit wider than hips width apart, coming to what we call our horse riding stance. Let's place our hands on our hips and we'll start with some nice clockwise circles, nice and easy, just working on releasing tension within the hip area, utilizing these circles to do that. And just go nice and easy to start off with in reverse direction. We're waking up the body, preparing it for the practice. Now, as you know, if you watch a few of my practices, we use mindfulness. We go slow with control and awareness. You cannot get injured in my classes if you're utilizing slow control, working with the breath. Okay, let's step the feet together. Let's take the hands, circular motion forward. Inhales, we're drawing up, and then exhales, we're taking them down. And then in reverse direction. Now let's take our hands to prayer pose above our head. We're going to stretch over to the right hand side to start with. So inhale, lengthen. Taking the hands up high, and then we'll shift over to the right hand side. We get a nice stretch through the left side body. Inhale back to the center line and then exhale over to the left hand side, this time stretching through the right side body. Keep the feet firmly planted into the ground. Activate the thighs here also, pressing back up to the top of the arc of the circle and then shifting over to the right hand side. Finally drawing up, find that length here and then shifting over to the left hand side for the final time. And then drawing the hands up and then taking the hands down. Let's turn to the right hand side here. Let's take the hands together. We'll interlock the fingers. Let's open up the hands and work the shoulder blades together. Really lengthen the spine. Let's keep those feet together. Feel the connection to the earth. Work with the breath. The goal here is to work the shoulder blades together, which is going to activate the muscle supporting the spine. That's going to lengthen the spine. Help with any spinal issues. We want length. We want muscle supporting the spine to gather that length. And we want even work. Let's draw the belly in here also. We forget the belly sometimes when we're working through the postures. And then release. Let's release the hands, release the legs, release a bit of tension here. Let's give the legs a nice shake, give the hands a nice shake, give the whole body a shake here. Releasing all tension. Now we're going to move in through our Vinyasa sequence, our flow sequence. So let's extend the hands up to the sky. Inhale as we swan down. Hands come to the ground. We come with our bent knees here into Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's release the head here. Release any tension, moving the head from side to side. And then inhale, come up onto the fingers. Lengthen the spine, extend the hips up to the sky, and then exhale, release. Again, let's move the head from side to side, releasing any tension. Inhale, coming up onto the finger pads, lengthen the hips away, and then finally coming back down, release into Uttanasana. Let's take the hands down to the mat. Let's step the right leg back. Can we get some nice length here with the right leg, and then we step the left leg back, and we'll find our sense of balance here, Phalakasana, which plank pose. Shoulders should be stacked over the wrists in our plank pose. And then we'll draw the hips back to the sky as we come into our downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Feet are about fist width distance apart here, pressing into the ground. Fingers are facing forward. Good spacing between the fingers. We're pressing into the mat with our hands, creating that tension in the back of the legs. Let's release the neck, looking towards the belly button. And we'll pedal the feet back and forth here, working the heels towards the floor. Moving left to right. Now let's come back to our downward facing dog. From here we're going into our rolling wave. So we're going to roll up on the balls of the feet. We're going to draw the belly in as we roll, vertebra by vertebra, shoulders stacked over the wrists. And then we'll slowly lower down into chaturanga, or low plank. Let's untuck the toes. We draw the head up, pressing up into our upward facing dog. Let's take the head back. Thighs are activated here, working the hands into the mat. Let's tuck the chin to chest, press the ground away as we untuck the toes, rolling back into our downward facing dog. Now let's do that one more time, that full sequence, rolling wave. Let's rise up on the balls of the feet. Let's draw the belly in as we roll the spine forward, vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders stack over the wrists and we lower down into low plank chaturanga. Let's take the hips all the way to the ground, untuck the toes, and we slowly pressing up into our upward facing dog. Heads lifted, activate the thighs. Draw the belly in. Now we'll tuck the chin to chest, untuck the toes as we roll back into our downward facing dog. Let's now draw the knees down to the mat, come into Balasana or child's pose. Let's take the hands off the mat. We'll sit back, hips onto the back of our heels. Buttocks onto the back of our heels. Might feel a bit of tension in the thighs here. That's okay. Release tension in the wrists here. Rotate clockwise first and then anti-clockwise. Let's wriggle the fingers here as well. Release any tension in the hands or the wrists we felt through there. Now let's come back into our 4-point base. Let's extend the right leg back. Let's extend the left leg back. Come into our high plank. Now let's draw the hips back to the sky as we come into our downward facing dog. Let's step the feet together. Let's extend the left foot to the sky. Let's fold the heel to the sit bone. Let's rise up on the ball of the right foot, and we'll slowly draw the knee forward to the outside of the left hand. Rolling knee, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Find that place of awareness right here. Adjust your hands and then slowly draw your knee down. Let's untuck the toes here, and then we'll draw the hips back. And we're shifting back. Should feel a nice stretch here through the quad and through the calf here also, and then we're shifting forward. It's a great little hip opening exercise, this. And then we'll draw the left leg back. And then drawing forward. Now to come out of the pose, we untuck the right foot, come onto the ball of the foot, pressing into the ground of the mat with our hands. We draw the right knee off the mat. From here, we draw the left knee into the elbow, into the shoulder here, and then we draw that left leg all the way back, drawing the knee up, and then we open the hip, reversing the movement to create that opposing stretch or counter pose to open the hips here. And then we slowly draw the foot down, and we'll come back into our downward facing dog. Let's rest here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. Find that sense of balance, find that sense of awareness. Remember, you're pressing the ground away here, you're working your heels towards the floor. Should be an upside down V, that's what we're working towards. Should be drawing the hips up to the sky to lengthen through the quads, the calves. Now we'll step the feet together. Let's extend the right leg to the sky. Let's fold the heel to the sit bone. Let's rise on the ball of the left foot as we draw the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. And then we step that right foot to the outside of the right hand and we lower the left knee. We untuck the left toes, place the back of the foot onto the ground. And then we'll shift back, drawing our hips back. We get a nice stretch through the right hand quad and the calf. Take a couple of breaths here and then shifting forward. Find that length and then drawing back second time and then shifting forward. Let's tuck the toes under on the left foot. Let's press the ground away, drawing the left knee up. And now let's activate the core and draw the right knee into the shoulder, the right shoulder, and then drawing the right knee back. Extend that right leg back to the sky, fold the heel, then open the hip. Come into our 3-point or 3-legged dog here. And then let's slowly draw the right leg down. Draw the knees down to the mat as we come back into our Balasana or child's pose. And let's untuck the hands, rotate the wrist, wriggle the fingers, adjust your hair as necessary, adjust your clothes as necessary. Take a moment here just to take a couple of breaths. Feel yourself coming back to base. Feel that length here, opening of this, just shifting side from side, working through the tension in the hips. If there's any there, working the belly onto the thighs, buttocks onto the heels. Shifting from side to side. Nice and relaxing, rocking motion as you're moving from each of the sides. Now we're going to move into our peak pose, which is our Eka Pada Rajakapotasana, the pigeon. So very similar to what we were doing there, we're adjusting the feet and we're going to get a nice, good stretch through the hip area. So let's come back into our 4-point base. Let's extend the right leg back. Let's extend the left leg back. Now we'll draw our hips up to the sky. Let's make sure our feet are fist width distance apart as we come into our downward facing dog. Pressing the ground away, fingers working into the mat. We're working the heels towards the floor. That's the ultimate, working the heels towards the floor. Let's make sure there's no tension in the neck here. And we're looking towards our belly button. Now, moving into pigeon pose, we'll step the feet together. Let's extend the left leg to the sky. Let's fold the heel to the sit bone. Keep a neutral pelvis here. And we'll rise on the ball of the right foot, and then we'll draw the right knee in, rolling forward. And then we'll lower that right knee, pressing the ground away here to slowly, as we're drawing that knee down, right in the center line between the hands, and then we untuck the toes, and then we draw that right leg back, finding that sense of balance there for you. If you need to, you can place a blanket underneath your hips here, and we're pressing into the ground. Hands should be in line with the knee, extending and looking up. It's a good hip opening pose. The pigeon pose also, it's an inversion, back bend. And you can adjust the right leg back as you feel your flexibility increase with this particular posture. Now you'll feel it in the front leg and you'll feel it in your hips. You know, if you think about this is not too far away from full splits really. If you had your front leg all the way out in front, you'd be in a full split. Work with the breath here, find a release. Now you can take your hand down to the mat if you feel comfortable, come into a forward fold. But if you're okay here, that's fine. You don't want any pressure on the knee here. So no tension on the knee here. And we're working the hips, right? That's what we're working. Keep the support of the hands, keep the spine nice and long. Now to come out of this posture, we tuck the toes under, we press the ground away. We're drawing the knee, activating the core, and then extending that left foot back to the sky. Let's open the hip, come into our three-legged dog to open. Nice counter pose, lovely. Now we come back to our downward facing dog starting position. Now moving to the opposite side, let's extend the right leg to the sky, fold the heel to the sit bone, keep a neutral pelvis, rising the ball of the right foot. We draw that right knee, pushing the ground away, rolling knee. Place that knee between the hands, untuck the left toes. We lengthen through the spine. Find your balance here. Find where your awareness is telling you you've got a nice central balance. Your hands are well placed, supporting you here. You can adjust your left leg back as you're able to. You can use your toes to draw that left leg back as your flexibility and mobility increases through the movement. Really lengthen, looking up. And as I said before, if you want to, you can come down onto your hands. Find a nice sense of awareness here. Again, you can place a blanket underneath your hips to support you there, even underneath your knee to support you. You don't want any pressure or any tension on the knee here. So it can be challenging for some people. And now we'll tuck the toes, left toes under to come out of the posture, pressing into the ground, drawing that right leg up and extending and opening, creating that nice opening there. Lovely. And then drawing back to our downward facing dog. And let's draw the knees down, come into our child's pose, Balasana. Lovely. Extend the hands forward. Nice length there. That was our peak pose, the pigeon pose, Eka Pada Rajakapotasana. Now we're going to move into our final pose, which is Vinyasa. I love doing this pose. It's great for the core. It's great for digestion. It's great for length. It's just a great posture to really release any tension or release toxins in the body that may be there. And you know, with the twisting motion, you're working the digestive system. So let's get into it. Now with this pose, a couple of points to know. We want a nice long spine. We want to make sure you're sitting on your sit bone. So move the fleshy part of your buttocks away. Okay? Now, when we're inhaling, exhaling through, inhale, lengthen, exhale, release. Okay? And we take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, extend the right hand up to the sky. Then we open the shoulder and place that right hand behind us, about the midline of the body. We lengthen, inhale, and then we exhale, release. We draw the belly and we're looking over our right shoulder. Hold there for a moment. Couple of breaths. and then slowly release with control. We always go into posture slowly. We always come out of posture slowly. That's the mindfulness that I'm talking about. Always be in control. Okay, let's move over to the opposite side. So we take our right hand to the left knee. Let's extend the left hand up to the sky. Let's open the shoulder. Place that left hand behind us. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, release. Draw the belly in and looking over the left shoulder. Use the right hand as your fulcrum point to move you deeper into the twist. And if you want, you can inhale, then exhale, then go a little bit deeper. And then slowly release, coming back to the center line. Just draw the hands up and down. And there we go, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the class today. A little flow to release tension in the hips. We went through the Eka Pada Rajakapotasana, which is the pigeon pose. Now, if you like this class, give it a like, got any comments, then please let me know. If this is your first time here, I remind you, hit the subscribe button, click the notification so you get notified when I publish new videos. If you want to check out my other yoga series, then check those out. If you want to check also out my Tai Chi stuff, then check that out also. Nothing left to do except have an awesome rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and namaste. Namaste.